What's up YouTube, SaiyanZ3 here to give you guys a review for a YuYu Hakusho piece of merchandise. Yeah, I don't know why I said that. I should have said YuYu Hakusho movie, but I'm gonna be reviewing the second YuYu Hakusho movie, which I saw in subs. I like this YuYu Hakusho subs, even though I don't know if I prefer the dub. I like them both. It's sort of like DBZ where I like both the dub and the sub. I'll talk about YuYu Hakusho subs probably in some other freaking video, but or in a live stream or something. But if you guys don't know, Yu Yu Hakusho is my second favorite series of all time. It's my second favorite manga, my second favorite shonen, and it's tied with Cowboy Bebop as my second favorite anime ever. So I was planning on watching this movie, but I thought at some point Funimation would dub it. I didn't know that the sub version was out online. I was never able to find it until recently, and I want to thank someone for that. Up One in Flames, if you're watching this, thank you so much. He posted a link to it in my Come Chill number 17, that stream, my most recent one. So if you guys want to watch it, you guys can go check it out over there. Or I could just put it. Yeah, I'll probably just put it in the description box below. I'll make it easier on you guys. But yeah, shout out to Up One in Flames. Check his stuff out. Check his channel out. Great guy. Makes pretty good videos. Check him out. So I'm gonna do this review for the second movie. It's called Yu Yu Hakusho, the movie Poltergeist Report. And like I said, I haven't done too much Yu Yu Hakusho stuff on this channel, so this is a perfect video for me. So I'm just gonna sort of like recount the plot, just like barely. Usually I start to say the entire story, but or the entire plot, but of a chapter or a movie, whatever it is. But I think I'm gonna sort of shorten it down for this review, see how it goes. So pretty much the spirit world gets fucked up by a flood. That's crazy. It's an entire realm. The entire spirit world is just screwed over by a complete flood. And then we learn about the existence of a fourth realm called the Nether Realm. Now. The Nether Realm is distinct from Demon World, okay? Because you have Spirit World, Human World, and then Demon World. Those were the only three realms which we pretty much talked about in this. They were the only three talked about worlds in the series. But the Nether Realm is sort of distinct from the Demon World in that it's its own world. It's a fourth one. It's not like a sub-region of Demon World. It's like its own world. And Nether Realm the Nether Realm has a relationship with Demon World that is akin to that of the Spirit World and Human World, which I kind of found a little weird. Because if you guys remember, when humans die, they go to Spirit World, right? And then they move on, or at least that place where Koenma is. That's sort of like a junction before they actually pass on for good, right? The one thing I found weird about that was Toguro was a demon and he had to go through Spirit World, right? Well, he was a human transforming into demon, so maybe it was different, but he had demon blood inside him, and he was still remained in Spirit World. When he went to Limbo for 1,000 years and pretty much tortured himself for those 1,000 years, and then eventually ceased to exist, which I feel so bad for him, but. The Nether Realm is pretty much like that for the for Demon World, which it's kind of a little weird for me. But anyway, Enma beat their king Yakumo, who is the main antagonist of this movie, and was sent into some sort of nether space. Just some area of space out there. I don't know where that space. It says outer space, but I doubt it's like actual outer space. I think it's some sort of like sub-region of Nether Realm or something. I don't know, but the one question I have about this is, how strong is Enma? Like, we've never seen Enma fight in the series, so for him to be Yakumo and Yusuke was struggling with him in this movie, it's like it just goes like, I don't know about that. So one thing you're gonna see, I'm gonna be questioning the logic of this movie a lot, but it's still a good movie in my opinion. So basically we learned that Yakumo is back and he wants to use the spiritual energy at 5 elemental sites: water, fire, wood, air, and spirit/soul, I think it is. And at these 5 sites, there's spiritual energy that the spirit world uses. Now, I don't know. Here's another question: like we don't learn like what that spirit energy is used for. Like, is it used to sustain spirit world? Is it used to do some sort of specific action, or like what does it do? I mean, we just know it's spiritual energy, so that's that's something I also have a question about. But that's okay. Pretty much we learned that they're going to use that spiritual energy to pretty much recreate the Nether Realm on Earth in a human world. The villains are great. I think they really assert their dominance early, something which I felt that other villains and other shonen they don't tend to do. So you have Yakumo, who's their leader. Then you have Kaiki, Majiri, and Raigo. Those are the three henchmen, and they're all four of them together are known as Meikai gods. The music is original music, but it's all orchestrated. So it's not like the sort of like sound effects that were used, or the synthesizers that were used in the show. It's actual like violins and drums and trumpets and all that. So it's kind of cool to hear it like that. It makes it a little more epic. Actually reminded me a lot about Dragon Ball music. It's weird. I always do Dragon Ball Hakusho comparisons every time I make a vid, but that's something for later. But as far as the timeline goes, the plot of this movie, like where it places in the timeline, I think it's supposed to be like a DBZ movie in the sense that it doesn't really fit in the timeline, because I was presuming this movie is meant to be taken after the Dark Tournament, but I'm thinking that's what it does, but they know about Demon World, and they don't know about that until Chapter Black. Not only that, King Enma can fight Yakumo, and it was implied that King Enma couldn't handle Rise and Yomi and Makura at the end of the Three Kings saga. So it's like, I don't maybe it's after the series, I'm not sure, but the action is pretty good though. I think Kuwabara's fight against Majiri is really good. But the problem with it was when I found out when it started to become good, the fight ended too quickly. Actually, Majiri is beaten in a rather comical way, which I thought was hilarious. Kuwabara was showing some sort of like tactical stuff in that fight, saying that he put all of his energy, the remaining spirit energy that he was using to fight Majiri, into a big ass like lance/sword. Then he stabs Majiri with it, and then because they're in close proximity, he's able to catch him and punch him away, even though he has no spirit energy left. But it's implied that Majiri was killed by that punch, which is kind of funny. I was laughing at it. I was like, what? Like, Kuwabara was the man. Like he was the man in this movie though. He was really good. And they play on like well-known traits of each of the four characters, like Yusuke and his care for people, with Hiei, his relationship with Yukina, Kuwabara, and just sort of like the whole underdog thing going with him. And then with Kurama, I think they did a good job with, because they do sort of like a variation of the whole Kurama Yomi thing with this character called Kuronui. We later find out that Kuronui is actually not the real disguise. I mean, we should have known from the start when we see Kaiki, who is the Meikai god that fights Kurama. But we see Kaiki transform into Kuronui, and then Kurama at the end of the movie just goes like, "Oh, you're not the real Kuronui," and I guess it's supposed to be like a plot twist for the viewer, but at the same time we're just like, "Oh yeah, we already knew that." But I really like the thing with Kuronui and Kurama, because like I said, it's familiar character traits, with the whole thing between Kurama and Yomi. It's like I said, character traits, like it's very reminiscent of that relationship. And the whole thing with Kuronui was that he was a former accomplice of Yoko Kurama when they were doing like thefts and raids and just stealing other shit. But on one of the quests, Kuronui loses his pendant that's very dear to him, and it's like one of those objects that he can't live without. Kurama tells him that it's not worth going back for, but he does anyway, and then he ends up getting impaled by several bamboo shoots and bleeds to death from that. But when Yoko tries to save him, he tells him to go and run away. But Kaiki disguises Kuronui, tries to play on Kurama's guilt, saying that, "No, I didn't tell you to go away. You actually betrayed me." Now, this is kind of weird for me because I think at this point in the series, if it's after the Dark Tournament, and especially if it's after Chapter Black, Kurama would have the state of mind not to fall for something like that. So it was kind of weird to see him fall for something like that. But again, maybe I'm just thinking too deep about like where it places in the timeline. So I'm not gonna really like knock the movie down for that. And you know, there's some cool scenes. Like there's this one badass like walk. Like if you guys remember like the walk to Arlong Park in One Piece, you know, there was a similar walk in this movie towards the end. It's the beginning of the finale where it happens. It's like a badass like walk, and it's very reminiscent of like '90s heroes. Like they just walk without talking, and they all go. And Botan is actually very important to this film. Also, she has a role in that she has this thing called the Power Sphere, which Yakumo needs to recreate the Nether Realm. And so Botan is actually given a much more bigger role than usual than she was in the than she had or was and she has, well, yeah, than she has in the series. We never get an explanation for what sliced Kuranui's pendant, though. The fights between the different gods were pretty good. Like I said, Kuwabars with Majiri was good. The final fight with Kuranui and or Kaiki rather and Kurama, that was good. And then the fight with Hiei and Raigo was just amazing. But like I said, I felt like the fights just ended too quickly and on an abrupt note. Like, the thing with Raigo was that he's actually Yakumo's right-hand man and presumably the most strongest of the Meikai gods. He actually has a Jagan eye just like Hiei. But what happens is, using that Jagan eye, it's different in that it awakens the people, it awakens the evil inside people's hearts whenever, or I guess inside only a demon's heart. Whenever he uses it. So it's sort of like a another DBZ thing comparison. It's sort of like Babidi, sort of like his Majin thing, you know, when he makes Majin Vegeta, Majin Spopovich, and Yama, and all those other cats. But Raigo at one point does this to Hiei, and he actually goes into his thousand-eyed form, and he uses the Black Dragon, the dragon of the dragon of the Darkness Flame. But it's weird because it looks like he's being controlled, and out of nowhere he's like, "Don't take me so lightly," and then he just redirects the dragon towards Raigo, and kills him like in a matter of like 5 seconds. I was expecting like something more of like an epic battle, but I don't know. And then of course you have the final fight with Yusuke and Raigo, which was awesome. That last attack. I mean, Kuwabara plays a role, and he tries to help them. And then they all channel their energy into Yusuke for the final attack with the spirit gun. And Yakumo's final form, I don't remember the name. It's on the YuYu Hakusho wiki, but he has this final form, which makes him look totally badass. Like, he looks like some ruler of hell. Like, he looks awesome. And let me tell you right now, Yakumo is just a great villain. He's pretty good. Revenge driven, pretty much wants to kill all of humanity. Terrible tyrant, like he has it all. But that final again, like the thing with the fights in this movie were that they were good up until the ending, because the ending can be a little too like abrupt. Like that final attack where I was telling you, where Yusuke fires the spirit gun with the combined energy of the other three, with the combined energy of the other three members, and fires it at Yakumo. Yakumo is pretty much defeated by that, but then out of nowhere he comes out again and grabs Yusuke by the foot and throws him down to the bottom of the building that they're fighting in. And then Yusuke has to do some sort of like quick like spirit like shotgun and then another spirit gun, which is, like I said, like an abrupt end and a very like rushed end to the fight. And I think that's like one of the problems that I had in this movie. The pacing is too fast, definitely in this movie. Things are happening way too quickly. And I think the subs can kind of sort of get boring for some people who don't really like the subs, but the like some of the stuff is just happening way too fast. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I was expecting like a bigger fight. Like I said, like the fights I think are most representative of that, because they just happen within the matter of like 3 or 5 minutes, and that too, like nothing really much happens in between them. So pacing's a little too fast. The ending, like I said though, the ending, I think it's satisfying. It's very satisfying. The ending to the movie is very satisfying. It was probably my favorite part of the entire movie. Oh, and the credit song. The credit song is just beautiful. I love that credit song. I actually just got it on YouTube, so very, very good ending song. But pretty good movie. I liked it. I liked it. If I were to score it, probably 8 out of 10. I'd say 8 to, well, I'll give it an 8.3 out of 10. It's almost an 8.5, but not quite an 8.5. If that makes sense. 8.3 out of 10 for me. Just a nice throwback to all the things we love about YuYu Hakusho. Not really meant. I don't think it's really meant to fit in the main timeline of YuYu Hakusho, and it was just an enjoyable movie. I think if you pay too much attention to it, you might not like it as much. But it's still a pretty enjoyable movie in my opinion. So 8.3 out of 10 for me. Action was good, music was good. Plot was pretty decent. The one thing I'll say about the plot is that you'll know what's happening within probably like the first 30 minutes or so of the movie. So the plot is pretty much laid out for you by that time. Action was good. Like I said, it plays on like what we like about the characters, so it's pretty good. 8.3 out of 10 for me. So that's my review for Yu Yu Hakusho, the movie, the Poltergeist Report. I hope you guys enjoyed the movie. If you guys haven't watched it already, thanks for watching my review. Peace, and have a nice day.